Yo. What up, everybody? Episode number 1 to the best, cheapest podcast. You could add it later, can't you? Yeah. Episode number 1. Just keep it. We're going raw with it. Episode number 1, the best, cheapest podcast. Thank you guys for staying posted. Thank you guys for staying tuned and curious. So we're here. We live. We're bringing. I couldn't start it actually. I couldn't start it off without the person who pushed me from the jump, and always was about it. My boy Roberto Rodriguez. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Pleasure to be here. Happy to be here. Very excited to what we got and about today.
Yeah, man. I fucked up. I had notes. Mid my introduction. You keep all this in.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
Is that your poetry book?
This is
your
this
lyrics?
Right here is my lyrics. I wanted to. We've shot a few of them, and they've kind of been all over the place, and some you know what I mean. So I sat down and they're not like topics that I want to touch or necessarily in order, but I did want to stay on a certain track. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, this time I'm gonna write some stuff down. That way, we stay kind of in some sort of organized conversation. You know. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess we could start off by who you are and what you do and all that, and because it'll pay a little bit of base on why it was that you were pushing me, or like, you know what I mean, like the idea of you supporting it, not just because you're my boy, but your background.
Okay. So what do you want me to start with?
What you do right now? What school you go to? What you do?
I'll just start with who I am first.
Then why you ask? Just go. Do whatever.
I think it'll make much more sense, if I go that way. We'll begin with my name.
Do it.
My actual name is a little longer, but we'll keep that to the side. So my name is Roberto Rodriguez. I'm born and raised in Mexico, Guadalupe, Nuevo León, right next to Monterrey, Nuevo León. Big shout out to my family out there, my people, my culture, my community that saw me grow up. And I'm an immigrant. I guess I'm still might be considered undocumented.
No, we're documented. Yeah. Partially. No, we are, because we have documents. Feel me? Like, in the sense of the word, we have documents. We're in a sense, we're safe for now.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. It could be confusing if we say undocumented. So we were undocumented. Now we're documented.
Proudly.
So, it's nothing that I'm ashamed of or, anything like that. I'm not worried about it. To some extent. So, and the other part would be more than half of my life, I was raised in the county of San Bernardino, Fontana, California. And not recently, but now I'm still continuing my education in Pasadena at the Art Center College of Design. And before that, I was at RCC, Riverside Community College, where I spent I did my time there. So it was a difficult time there, not because
the food wasn't great.
not because it was a difficult time there because it was my transition from being whoever I was to a dedicated kind of student, and not just a student, but I got into the right path, the path that I had been seeking throughout just a very long time, and I was able to kind of get in there and finally figure it out. And it took me a while to get it and understand, but RCC was and is very important for that reason, and it has, alongside with the school that I am today, that I'm currently enrolled in. But that was a pivotal moment to me becoming or leading me to where I am now.
Yeah, I think community college. I haven't attended any colleges, and of course any community college for that matter. But I think community college get a bad rep because it's like, oh, either the education level may be lower or whatever the stigma is. But I know for somebody on the outside, I guess you could say they're viewed as like, oh, you're a community college, yeah, it's whack or whatever. But I don't think a lot of people acknowledge, like, yo, it was a very pivotal part or a very important part in my life, in my educational life, to put me where I am now.
Yeah, I mean, I say it was difficult for many reasons. One of them is because I feel that if you don't have a sort of immediate kind of educated reference to guide you, then it becomes a bit difficult to kind of see a path or understand what you need to do and how you need to do it. So you kind of lead that way or carve that path yourself. So you don't have anything to follow. So I think that for me, that was kind of it. And also trying to just figure out what I was trying to do. Not that I didn't know what I wanted to do, but just
the way you wanted to go about it.
Yeah, and finding the rhythm within that institution. I mean, RCC couldn't really provide me that, and our center does, but RCC provided me that mental kind of just readiness.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah. So now you're more than halfway done at the art center. What are you going to art center for?
Yeah, so I applied for graphic design, and I'm still enrolled as graphic design, and will soon graduate with graphic design. Hopefully, either depending on some other details, but I should be done this year for sure, either December or summer. Depending on some other things, but it's it's been a journey at this school for many different reasons, and it's been much more complicated than RCC for sure in many different ways, but it's something that I'm very happy to be a part of, and very just not just the community, but the whole environment of the school. And I feel like the people that attend are what truly make that school, and I'm very happy that there's extremely talented individuals there, and I'm just happy to be there.
Yeah. So I wanted you to share that because I think it's important, because I have support from a lot of different people in a lot of different places, but from the very beginning when the idea just came to be, it was important to share it, one, because you're my boy, but also because you're a designer, and if I was going to seek any advice or any sort of creative guidance, it was going to come from you, you know what I mean? So, and to get that support from the jump, I was like, yo, that's what's up. Like, he either sees that he can maybe aid to the cultivation of something, or he cultivate it himself, you know what I mean? But I was like, yo, he's on board, so I was like, this has to happen now. You know, so that's why I wanted you to share the designer side of who you are, so that it's like it's not just a random, or not a random, but a random person to the people maybe watching or listening to this. They don't know who you are, and why does your support matter? You get what I'm saying? But being that you're of the creative community, I was like, yo, and it's like a stamp of approval. Like, you should do this. Like, oh shit, I should do this.
I mean, in no way, shape, or form I represent, you know, the creative community, but I feel
no,
like
but more so than me or other people around us.
I mean,
you feel me?
I feel like I'm a part of it.
Yeah. You know? No. Yeah. You're not part of the board of creatives of the United States. You know what I mean? But you're just somebody who's deeply involved in that community. You know what I mean? So, and for you to see projects and other artwork or just creative work around you daily, you know, is like, oh, if something was whack, you'd have been like, nah, bro, that's whack. Don't do that. Or maybe not shot me down like that, but you would have told me maybe do this, or you know what I mean. But the fact that you supported it, it was just like a stamp of creative approval. Like, okay, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, thank you. I feel like it's very humbling, you know, to hear those things. But yeah, I feel that we've been a part of many different projects throughout time, and you know, I'm always very happy to be a part of a collaborative group and building some sort of ideas or making them become real. And as I've kind of grew and became more experienced in this world, I've become not selective, but just your time has to be much more well taken care of. You know, because there's all sort of things that either you want to do, or ideas that you want to make, or people that want to have you be a part of, just to
their
make
project.
It happen. So it's, you know, it's I feel like before it was more difficult to kind of see not the outcome, but the overall picture, because maybe you didn't have as much experience, and now you kind of are able to evaluate different projects and also understand somebody's ideas even better, and know who is doing much or who is doing less. But I think that as you also move, those things kind of get left behind, you know. So there's not so much of those things anymore. But you know, I'm always down to help you, and you know, some other people as well that have always helped me and supported me in many different ways. And there's no reason why I shouldn't or couldn't. You know, so we're always doing our best to pay respects, and also not that I feel like I owe anybody anything, even though I do, but it comes also, you know, from me, not from feeling like I owe something, you know.
Yeah, and I think being that you and I have had multiple various like long hour conversations and multiple hour conversations just naturally, you know what I mean? And so and I've always liked to have just conversations just about whatever it may be that of the time. I know that we had that like sort of connection, like, yo, because of that, you know what I mean? Just natural conversation. We had that just inclination of just, yeah, go ahead and do that. No biggie. Yeah, it'll turn out good. You know, that's what we're trying to do here. So like I said, I appreciate that. And being that we're both in the same, how would you put it? We're both partially documented, I guess you could say, you know what I mean? Means even much more. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that's my guy, but also we share more than just friendship and the closeness of that, but the situations we may go by day, we vibe on the same situation. So, but yeah, that's why it just everything all together, getting that approval it felt good, you know. So, but yeah, man, I really did want to talk about that. Our experiences as growing up, because we grew up undocumented. Now the situation's a little different, but I did want to talk about that. How was your? I mean, you don't got to be too specific, for, just to be safe. But overall, how was your transition coming over here? Because you came over in your early teens, right?
Yeah. So I got to California. Well, I should mention that I was here, man, the first time, because I came here for second grade.
Hmm.
That was the first time I ever came. So I went to school for a year, I'm assuming, and then went back. So I came here legally when I was in second grade. I don't remember much. I remember like Pokemon.
Yeah,
Pokemon cards. People would bring in with their folders. I went to West Randall with some of my cousins that I lived with at the time. After that, we went back. So I spent third grade up to sixth grade in Guadalupe. Then we were gonna come for a quinceañera when I was 12. So we came here legally again on a plane, and eventually just what happens is that you are giving a permit.
Yeah.
Right. So you're giving a permit to come. It depends, and it kind of is a way to not organize, but calculate whether or not people want to stay. So if you're a single, I don't know, single male under 20s and doesn't have somewhat of a stable job, it's going to be difficult for him to get a permit.
Yeah.
Or for her. And for a family whose parents are educators and have been educators for 5 years and work at a good school, then they're much more likely to
get the permit.
Yeah, to get the permit, but seem like they're just going to a vacation.
Yeah, because they're well off in the whatever country they're trying to get the permit from.
Right.
They're well off there. There's no need to stay here.
Yeah, they don't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming. And that kind of controls sort of that. And so we got the permit, we came, and I don't know how long, I don't know if they give you different kinds of permit, I don't know, but we got a permit, so we came. And so what happens if you don't return and you don't return that permit, then you automatically become undocumented or illegal immigrant, some say. And we did. But my transition here was I mean, it was difficult in some senses, but I also wanted to be here, you know. So why?
Or why didn't you want to be there?
Or back home?
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like this was the place that I needed to be. I wasn't sure why. Don't get me wrong, I got mad love for, where I'm from. But I don't know, something inside just this sort of gut feeling or intuition. Maybe I was just young and wanted something different, but I feel that this was what I needed to be. I don't know. I can't think of anything else that, because I do still. Man, I would love to go back. But like this country has also provided me with a lot of opportunity. And whether I had different feelings about it before or not, or people made me feel a certain way. At the end of the day, I got my love for both countries.
Yeah, of course.
They both treated me in similar ways.
I mean, we're here doing this.
Yeah, so I'm very happy to be here as well. And, I would also be happy to go back. And I don't know if I would ever live over there, but, that's something that, we could hope for. I don't know if I would live there for a very long time, but I would definitely want to go back and live for a bit.
Because you do have memories back of back then, obviously. I mean, if you came in your early teens, then you have memories of just your days that back home.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time out and about, for different reasons, and I got to experience a lot of the city and a lot of its culture, a lot of my culture and our culture, even though it's sort of specific to the city that I'm from. I think the energy is still the same, but the transition here was a bit difficult in regards to language was one of them, culture was another, and just the whole system was a bit different. Some things were better, such as traffic and whatnot. People are much more nicer, at least in this area, compared to what I remembered back home. And I mean, I say home because it feels like home.
That's where
even though I haven't been there in 14 years or so.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this is my home too, but it's difficult to say this is my home because
you're not technically wanted here. And I feel that I feel the same way because like I have love. I mean, this is all I've ever known. I was over here we came when I was months old. So I have zero memory of where I call home as well. But that's just in my heart. That's not in my memory. That's not in my experiences. Like, this place is the place that molded me and created the person that I am today. But at the same time, I call it home, but also it's not really because, I mean, you have to almost live on your toes, and that there's some people that don't want your people here, you know what I mean? And you fit that group. So it's like, man, how you call a home where you're not wanted? If you're not wanted in a certain place, then how is that home? How can you proudly and fully call that home? It's hard. That's for me. That's
yeah. It can be. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to have those experiences, because this is also you're also sharing the same space, and when somebody feels that you shouldn't, it's I think it's sometimes it's a bit, at least before it was hurtful, in regards to trying to be a part of this, sort of this new world that you come to. So it's a weird experience, to and I feel like that kind of creates a tension with some people that may not respond the same way, that in such a peaceful way. So I think that it sort of builds some kind of anger. We don't all deal with our emotions the same way, and or understand one another. A lot of it comes from ignorance, and don't get me wrong, there's all kinds of people. So obviously, if you have a party and you invite 100 people, not all 100 may be nice. You feel me? So there might be 2, 3 that are gonna be, I don't know, maybe one of them has a gun. Who knows? So you don't know who comes. Yeah, I understand that, but it's not our fault that some people aren't good humans, just like anybody else.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from just living here, because if you feel that way from the beginning and you're old enough to just go back, you don't experience the good things that are here, and you're left with the idea that people are are assholes or they're mean or they don't want me there, and you know what I mean. And now you're back home, and that's your experience here. But if you're able to ride it out voluntarily or involuntarily, for us that we were children, you're able to see, oh, there's a lot of good people, you know. Yeah, and you're able to. I mean, at least you would think you're able to understand why the anger is there, or why the mean is there, you know. And it's just, and you learn to live with it. You learn to just not live with it just to take it, but live with it is to um not accept it either, but to know it's there. You know what I mean? To know that it's there and it's gonna be there, and that's their opinion, that's their idea, and that's cool. But I'm gonna keep on doing me, and you know, being as positive as we can. But yeah, I could see how people are left with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an experience that's experienced much more than others, you know, to different degrees, and affects them in different ways. You know, some may have violent acts just because of who they are, you know, depending on where they live or not. But you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that, you know, that those things happen. And I mean, I haven't experienced things like that anymore. But you know, I think that it is unfortunate. But
have you experienced hateful situation?
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot more before. I feel, I don't know why, but I'm much more reserved now. Not in, well, I say reserved because I'm sort of stay in one place and you know, my school most of the time, work, or spend time with family. So I'm not as out and about as before, but maybe that could be one reason, or I'm not sure, but definitely before I did experience.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I don't run into it, but I think I know I'm confronted with it more now. Maybe because I'm much more observative now, that I'm like watching every situation and scenario around me. But for whatever reason, I can't really remember off the top of my head right now of a hateful situation, but I feel like now I've been able to say, oh, that guy was, you know, racist or mean or prejudiced or whatever, you know. Now more so than I younger, maybe because I'm more observative, like I said, and I travel a lot more. I mean, of course, when I was little, we've traveled some, but it was more of a private thing where we went, and but now more so I'm out and about on my own, and I'm able to come across different people. You know, I don't want to say like I travel a lot, like I'm flying everywhere, but I do. I've gone to different places where I've experienced.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean I can't say that it doesn't happen, but what also happens with me is that I've just tried to stay as positive as I can, and kind of maintain that energy as high as possible, because I need to maintain myself in a good place to be able to keep creating at a consistent rate, or you know, just feel good. And experiences like that kind of bring bad energy, and it's difficult to just pay too much attention to those things, even though it's unfortunate that you need to do that. But I feel like I need to do that in order to just navigate as in the best way possible that I can, you know, instead of trying to focus on these things and just give them too much energy, and then becoming just a bit negative about it, or you know, just about life.
Yeah. Well, for me, I don't really take those situations or the things that have happened and let them affect me in a negative way. But I just observe them like, man, why did that person do this certain action, right? Or say these certain things, like, man. And to a certain point, sometimes I understand them because maybe they grew up. That's all they know. When they, as their childhood, when they were growing up, that's all they knew was being, and they never maybe saw a brown or a black person, So I don't know. I just try to understand and maybe hope for the best reason or excuse for them to be that way. I know that there is just negative people, but I like to think that there's reason behind the negative, and come to the core, they're maybe not negative people. Maybe that's just what they're used to all their lives, and yeah, I don't know. I just don't let it affect me in that way, but I do sit there. I'm like, man, that poor person, maybe they're just going about their day and they're just angry all the time because of something that happened when they were maybe, because there's good and there's bad people in every group of people, So maybe a person that kind of looks like me affected them in a negative way, and now they have that negative connotation of those people, which is understandable. It's not, maybe to us or to me, it's not right that they have that, but it's understandable. You may not agree with it, but he's like, oh, there's a reason to it. You know what I mean? So I'm just like more aware, and it's funny because you see it sometimes in the most random and places that unsuspected places, and you're like, whoa, like we're nowhere near like a place where this can come to be. I know once I was out in a national park somewhere, and where a hateful situation happened. Nothing like crazy escalated wise, but I was just like, yo, we're out in nature. Why you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing, like, what do you, I don't know. To me, it felt so weird and random that this person was just still angry in nature. I was like, yo, we're out in the middle of canyons and stuff, and you can't just forget about it, or just at least take a pause from those ideas. I'm here anyways. You're not going to do anything to me. I'm still here. I'm enjoying myself. I'm sorry for you that you can't enjoy yourself because you see me. You don't even know me. So I just thought it was funny, and I'm like, yo, in the most unsuspected places, you could still even find it, which sucks. I just laughed and went on with my day, but I just thought it was funny that there, in the middle of nature, some dude was still kind of throwing that out, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, I did want to highlight you and thanks for coming out and doing this. I don't want to drag this out too long because I know it'll just kind of go on to just everywhere, but I did want to bring you on, and I did want to highlight and thank you for the support. And we'll keep pushing, man. We'll keep throwing some more out there. Maybe we'll dive deeper in more details into our lives in another episode. But yeah, man, thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting, and we'll keep on building from this.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's very humbling. Not just to be here, but to hear what you gotta say and the way you say it. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm happy to be here. And like I said, I'm more than willing to help with anything that you need, and I'm at your service. I'm very excited to see what comes out of it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So thank you. Like I said, we're gonna keep on growing. Thank you to everybody in the beginning, like I said, for staying tuned, and everybody behind supporting. So yeah, thanks to Isaac, our producer, Gez, who's producing the music, and yeah, we'll keep pushing this. And I don't have a set routine or schedule just yet, but we'll be pumping some of these out soon after. So thank you guys, appreciate it. Peace.